Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing out there? Uh, what I wanna what I wanna talk to you about today. I'm out here on the porch. One of my neighbors just came by. I was sitting down here on the porch, and one of my neighbors, one of my neighbors just came by and brought to my attention that there was a drone hovering over my property. Uh, and once I stepped out and looked at it, looked up and saw it, all of a sudden it jet. So I assumed it was spying on me. But I've been putting up a lot of videos, about the trucking industry. And, I've been very active on YouTube um, with some videos. And maybe some of the people that may not like my videos, but, I'm a minister of common sense. And my job, all right, is to tell you the truth, even if it come back and slap me in the face, and sometimes it does. Um, but what I want to talk about today is I want to bring uh, something to the attention of the new drivers just coming out here. Okay. Uh, for the new drivers just coming out here, I'm sipping on a little Bacardi. Uh, the new drivers just coming out here. All right. Don't let these companies play you. Okay. I'm an old school driver, and I know the ropes. Okay. What I want to talk to you about today is you need to determine whether or not it's worth your time to be out here away from your family 2 to 3 weeks at a time. Okay. Um, I was talking to a company yesterday, and they wanted you to be out on the road for 8 weeks. Now you got a week off. You got 5 days off. You know, if you stay out there for 8 weeks, well, 8 weeks, according to my calculation, is 2 months. Okay, I can't be away from my home. I can't be away from home for 2 months. I got grass to cut. I got a property to keep up. You know, um, the industry now, the trucking industry now, basically don't want old drivers like me, right? They want the newbies, so they can jack you around. To determine whether or not it's worth your time out here, all right, the first thing you need to do is look at the miles that you're running, right? And how much you're getting per mile, how many hours you're working per day. Now, when you start your trip, first of all, you need to have a mileage pad. You need to have a mileage book, all right? And you need to write some things down, all right? Say, for instance, you're going from uh, Columbia, South Carolina to Tampa, Florida, and you're at the shipper, and your dispatch tell you that it's X amount of miles, or in some cases on the load confirmation, they don't even put the miles down there sometimes. Sometimes they do. But whatever miles is on your load confirmation, you write that down. Load confirmation miles. Okay? That's from your starting point to your destination. The next thing you need to do is you need to do a Google search. All right? Then check the mileage on Google. Okay? Excuse me. The third thing you need to do is check your mileage on your GPS. Okay? Now, the fourth thing you need to do, and you always do this, is have your road atlas and write your route down just in case your GPS get to acting up. Sometimes GPS will lead you wrong. You need to plan your trip by the map. Know where you're going to have to turn at, what highways you're going to take. All right? After you've done that, then you're ready to rock. Now, when you get to your destination, well, one more thing you need to do. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. You need to write the odometer miles down. Okay? Your starting odometer miles. Now you're ready to rock. Once you get to your destination, you write the odometer miles down. Again, because that's your ending odometer miles. Now you subtract your beginning odometer miles from your ending odometer miles. That will give you the total miles that you've driven for that trip. You compare those miles to your Google miles. You also compare those miles to your GPS miles. And last, you compare those miles to your pay summary miles. Okay? When they send you your pay summary on whatever software they use or whatever application they use, right? You compare those miles with how much the miles that you got paid for. So that's the most important thing, the miles you got paid for. All right? Now, and you want to do this consistently on a consistent basis on every load. Because the miles that you got paid for versus your Google miles, your GPS miles, and your odometer miles, it may be slightly different. Okay, companies never pay you for all the miles that you drive on a trip. Most of them don't. They skim off of the miles. They beat you out of 30 or 40 miles. Okay? That's how they have become rich. All right? If you got 500 drivers You load 500 trucks a day, and you steal 20 miles from each one of those drivers. Hmm? You do the math, and you do that every day, or for every truck that you load, you steal 10 or 20 miles from your driver. Okay? Trucking companies would do that. I'm giving you, I'm teaching you the ropes for y'all. This for y'all new drivers out there. Old drivers like me, they already know. They already know, right? Now, to determine whether or not it's worthwhile you being out here, you have to do a little bit of math, okay? And it ain't that hard. It's basically simple arithmetic, what they taught us in school, okay? We didn't know what the word math meant when I was going to school. It was arithmetic, all right? So that's what I'm going to say. You need to do a little bit of arithmetic. That's adding, subtraction, division, and multiplication, okay? Now, in 8 days, you can't go over 70 hours. So most of y'all drivers are running, if you're home on the weekend, all right, now your multiplication or your arithmetic might be different if you're staying out 3 or 4 weeks at a time, but still you can use the same formula, all right? That is your 8 days. How many hours have you worked in 8 days, all right? And how much money you made in those 8 days? How many miles you ran in those 8 days? Okay? How much money you made in those 8 days? You take 8 and divide it by the amount of money you made in those 8 days, and it'll tell you how much money you made per day. Now, if you work 66 hours or 60 hours in 8 days, all right, you divide that 60 by the amount of money that you made. Hmm? And that'll determine how much money you made per hour. All right. See, and you need to keep track of that. All right. In 8 days, because you don't brace the work, in 8 days you made X amount of dollars. But you work X amount of hours. You work 65 hours or 60 hours. Then you determine how much you made per hour. Now, the figure that you use is your gross. All right? That's what you made. but you take home your net, so you can use your gross figure or your net figure. Your net is what you take home after Uncle Sam get his cut. See, because it's going to be different. Your how much you made per day, how much you're making per hour is going to be different if you use your net, and it's going to be different if when you use your gross. See, then you can determine whether or not it's worth your while to be out there. Huh? You made $1,600. You gross $1,600 for that within 8 days, or let's say let's pump it up a little bit. You made 2 grand in 8 days. Okay, but you work 60 hours. You divide the 60 into 2,000. That'll give you how much you made per hour. How many miles you ran. All right, you can determine how much you making per mile. See, and you have to keep up with those numbers. You have to work with those numbers to determine whether or not, all right, is it worth my while to be out here on the road, away from my family? Or is it best for me to just get a 9 to 5 and be home every night? That's how you can determine what's best for you. Because the trucking industry don't want to pay the drivers what they're worth. I've been on the phone. Now I can go back to my old job with G&D integrated. Okay, I can go back to my old job. They only pay 56 cents a mile now with the incentive, uh, the safety bonus, uh, and a few other things that they throw in. Your overnight stay and stuff like that. Well, they say if you get everything, you do right, and if you don't speed, okay, you you're making 63 cents a mile. All right, with all that little bullshit that they throw in, but they got all that technology on the truck that snitch on you. Okay, yeah. Well, uh, 63 cents a mile ain't a whole lot to run home and tell mom about. 63 cents a mile ain't that much money, right? Like I've always said on a couple of my videos that drivers today need to be making $1 a mile. Okay, Now I could deal with 75 would be better than 63. Okay, and I try to get my company all, but you know, the hell with all that other shit you got. All right, just give me 63 cents out of the gate. You can keep all that other mess. Okay, I don't care about no safety bonus, but I'm a safe driver anyway. Hmm? Yeah, yeah. Only thing that I would rather keep is the overnight stay. They give you $32 for every night you stay out on the road. Well, that's good because hell, it costs you $25 to just get a park at most of the truck stops. I mean, if you get there around this time in the afternoon, right before dark, hmm, the truck stop's full. Okay, because you got nowadays you got more daytime drivers, all right, than you got nighttime drivers. See, so this time in the afternoon, the truck stop full. Everybody there, they're shitting and shaving and showering, you know, bullshitting, watching TV. Okay, some of them ain't gonna get a load till in the morning. All right, some of them is gonna pull out of the truck stop about 3 or 4 o'clock. Okay, so right this time in the afternoon, uh, truck stop fill up. So most likely you're gonna have to pay $25 to get a reserve spot. So that $32 a night come in handy. Okay, I can live with that. All right. So, but overall, you have to determine whether or not it's worth your while to be out there. I don't have to be out there. I love trucking. I'm 68. All right. I draw my Social Security. I've been working. I started working in 1970 when I started paying into the system. So I'm getting a little bit back on what I paid in. You know, I'm grateful to the system. All right. But yeah, I don't have to get out here and drive truck, but I enjoy driving truck. Okay. See, when you retire, all right, sitting around the house all the time is boring. Uh, most black people retire broke. I retired broke. All right. See, so you need some residual income, a little, to get you by, so you can do a lot more. I can do pretty good, but sometimes you get tired of sitting around the house. You get tired of going fishing. Hmm? Yeah. You want to, do something else. So I went back to trucking. I retired in 2014. You know. Now, you hear how dirty the trucking industry is, right? I got 27 years in it, in transportation. About 4 of those years was driving bus. I used to drive for Greyhound, right? So 4 from 27 leave 23. So I got about 23 years trucking. Okay, I was inactive from 2014 up until 2021. I went back to work in 2021. All right. They will take all your time from you. See? So now I'm just like a newbie. All right. They want you to have a year, or 2 to 3 years in the past 3 years. They want you to be active at least a year of driving, or 2 years of driving in the past 3 to 5 years, but I don't have that. Okay, that don't mean I'm not a professional driver. I've been doing this shit for see driving a truck is just like riding a damn bicycle. You never forget about it. All right, see, it's just like wiping your ass. You never forget how to wipe your ass. Ain't no different how old you get. You never forget how to wipe it. If you're so old, sometimes you can't wipe it. But hell, I can still drive a truck. I can still float them gears. All right. See, but see, they took all my time. So when I try to get a truck driving job right now, they said, "Well, how much experience you got?" Well, I got a whole bunch of experience, but they don't count my previous experience. See, they count my what I got in the past 3 years. But I don't have much in the past 3 years. I just started back driving August of last year. All right, and I didn't like the company that I was driving for, so I drive I drive with them from August to January, and I called it quits. Okay, now I went back to work for another company in May of this year, and I don't like them. That's why I'm on break right now. I don't really like them because all most companies, okay, full of shit, and most of the shit fall back on the driver. Okay, most companies, I don't give a damn what this tell you in orientation. They got some shit with them. Okay, and most of that shit always fall back on the driver. See, most trucking companies the same. They're the same old suit. Sometimes just warm over, it might be a different color. My name is Bobby Collier. I represent the House of Common Sense. What I say today is just my personal opinion, which is always my disclaimer. All right, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, tap the bell so you know when I'm putting out a new video. Y'all be blessed, and I'm gone.